Good afternoon. Welcome to the July 21st meeting of the Bryan Board of Public Affairs. We'll start by approving the minutes of the July 7th, 2015 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Al?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes. Next, we'll have a hearing public concerns.
Hi, Bonnie.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We'll be on agenda item 3.
You gonna carry on?
Yeah, you're done.
Okay. So I apologize, I'm running late. Okay, so number 3 then is a clerk treasurer's report.
The board's been presented with the clerk treasurer's report for the month ending June 30th, 2015.
Okay, with me.
Second.
Al?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Before we move on, I think it's nice kind of the budget review. Did everybody look at it, how we stand? It looks pretty good.
Looking good.
Really well.
That's a little comment I want to make.
Number 4 then is a resolution to authorize change order number 1 for the East Village Addition Underground Electric Replacement Project Phase A.
Okay, this will be resolution number 26, 2015, a resolution authorizing the Bryan Director of Utilities to accept change order number 1 for the East Village Addition Underground Electric Replacement Project Phase A with Michigan Underground LLC to change the final completion date. The original completion date was July 3rd, but since we've had such terrible weather with all the rain, I mean record amounts of rain the last month, the crews just can't get there and do any work. Water standing around the areas that we've been working. At first, the guys thought they could do July 31st, but that's not going to happen either. So this change order number 1 will reflect September 11th, which is a month and a half away. We need a week or 2 to dry up so we don't tear those yards up. So I would recommend that we do this. The crews that we've had have done a great job. It's just trying to finish up has been where the hiccup's at.
I'll make a motion. We approve resolution 26. Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
And number 5 then is affect semi-monthly disbursements.
So moved.
Second.
Al?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
And number 6 then is comments from BPA and staff. Director?
Okay, a couple things. We included a nice letter from Christopher Bryce. He was one of our part-time helpers that you guys hired in. Very appreciative of the chance to work for us. Included a copy of that in your board packet. On the calendar, if you would, September 28th through October 1st, 2015 is the OMEA AMP conference down in Columbus. Very good opportunity for board members to network with other board members, council members, mayors, and staff. Plus, it's where you guys get a chance to really get into the nitty-gritty of all the projects we're in, all the power projects we're in, and really get an understanding of what's going on in those projects. So I would highly recommend you get with Sylvia, get it on your calendar if you can go. We'll get the room set up for you, and we'll go from there.
I've been trying to talk to him before he came in, so we should go.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a great tool to really get a handle on what we're doing here.
And all we got to do is contact Sylvia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I said, I think you should be there. You really should to do what you got to do. A couple other things. Just want to let you know that the oral arguments at the State of Ohio Supreme Court with our case as it pertains to the Bechtel lawsuit with AMP-GS will be heard October 27th. So that's a good thing. Supreme Court's going to hear it, and we'll see what happens from there. It's been an ongoing case, so it's nothing new for us. Talked to Matt today, the flashboards were up. They put them up 2 weeks ago and they came down a couple days later. So.
We're just not having good luck with the board.
No, we're not having much luck at all.
But it's happened before.
Yeah, this is the first time Matt was telling me this morning and telling all of us in the meeting, was it July 10th, he said? This first time that he can remember since that we've had one floodgate open allowing water to spill over 24/7 since July 10th.
Right.
It's
Yes.
ridiculous how much water.
We've never ever had that before.
No, and the problem we run into is our generation's okay right now. I mean, we're doing okay, but the head pressure is so low that it's, because there's so much water, it's almost impossible for us to turn the units.
Right.
So they're doing their best, keep those going down. We feel probably the next day or so we'll get spinning pretty heavy again because those levels will,
It's
go back to normal.
the tailwaters.
Yeah.
Messes you up.
And what else? I think that would be it. We've just as a follow-up on the meter-based changeouts, I had a couple questions from board members prior to the meeting. Al and I talked. We were receiving some phone calls, some letters back. Al's working with customers. We've talked to several of our local electricians who are on board and have some of these jobs. So we'd expect probably September to December start to see these things start to get changed out. Is that the way it sounds after Al?
They're already starting.
Already started? Excellent, excellent. Other than that, I'm good.
Mayor?
Not too much for me tonight since we just met last night. Everyone knows what's going on, so there's not a lot to report today.
Okay, very good. Lord?
No, sir.
Anyone? Okay, Al?
I picked up something I want to pass around to you. Take one copy. Ever since I went to the meeting last year in Columbus about solar stuff, take a copy and pass it on.
Oh, okay.
I picked this up in the Kenton Times, and there's a big project going down in Dole, Ohio. And if I'd known about it, I'd gone there earlier, and I want you to read it, but it's about farming and solar system. If you notice the picture, you'll notice OSU on the top of the barn. Well, Ohio State has become very strong in this, and this is a coming thing. I don't think we have to worry about a farm here, other than the newcomer out here. He takes our power, correct?
Yes.
And he's set up like you can see the background of the picture here, because these farmers are complaining about cost of drying corn, the grain. But this can also bring in something for industry. Titan Tire, Spangler, even the supermarkets and things like this. And I think in due time, it may have a problem with us. Maybe you can explain. I tried to explain it, and he did a better job than I did, but I think it's worth reading, and it's coming. It's coming. It's here. And can you enlighten me on what?
Yeah. So as it pertains to solar, in the state of Ohio, municipalities that are home ruled do not have to purchase power back for one thing. There's no feed-in tariff. So we don't have anything in place right now that says we will purchase power back. The other thing you run into, and it's not a bad thing, I mean, because we do want to be on board. It helps with us with our peaks and some other things. But we really need to do a cost analysis on the effect of distributed generation, which is what solar is, on the utility itself. There is a cost to provide wires, poles, wires to the house, operational expenses and man hours and stuff that we have to have on hand for our customers that don't have solar. So there's a big push in the industry to figure out what that real price is to purchase that power back versus those expenses. And it's a real split. There's a real split group there. There was a huge movement early back in probably 2010 where utilities were against it, just downright against it. Today they realize the benefit of it, but it has to make sense overall. So here in Bryan, we don't have anything on the books yet. That is part of our future planning. Hopefully we finish up with our water cost of service study, which is what we're working on right now. We'll probably dive into the electrical side of that, and at that same time, we will have to dial into the distributed generation and tailor rules and regs to match that, as well as rates and these other things. So it's a big process. The other side of the coin is we need, and I'll say you as a board as well, when you look at our power portfolio and how it stands today, we have ownership shares of fixed assets. Everything from coal plants to hydro plants to wind turbines to these other things. You have to look at those base power costs that we're purchasing power from that are under contract and your overall system load. It makes sense today because our overall system load is higher than what these contract prices would cost us to buy power at. So we're buying market power a little cheaper than our fixed asset costs, and when you blend that out, it's a pretty nice average. What happens when you start to lose that base and lose your internal kilowatt hours here, your average price of power goes up. Well, what we charge is not this, it's we're purchasing here and we're buying here. The adjustment then is a rate increase. We don't want to get there yet. I mean, we haven't had a rate increase since 2006. We all know that dog day is coming. I mean, there's something coming around the horizon. When, I don't know yet. And I won't get a handle on that until we do a further analysis on our portfolio, what we have going on here, what we could have going on. It's a full risk assessment on it. So.
I want to bring this up to let you know it's coming because by right, these people get a tax credit and are section under IRS code 167, they can write the whole thing off and reduce their taxes, self-employment tax or anything else. And I think you said to me, the way it comes out, they're getting cheaper electricity with all these tax write-offs.
Many times with the subsidizing, I mean, that's basically what it is, being subsidized. The ITC tax credit is a 30% tax credit that goes away in December 31st of 2016. Not truly going away. It's going to go from 30% down to 10%. Now, there's some scuttlebutt in the political realms that that may change and it may get reinstituted again for another year. So, and then the other tax credit that Al's talking about, or the IRS definition, allows an extra, incentive to do this. So, in essence, a project that would cost overall, let's say 20 cents a kilowatt hour, $200 a megawatt hour. By the time you are incentivized, it drops down below 6.
Right.
Well, there are power contracts on the market today that we can buy power at 6.
Right. Right.
So I mean, it's tough. What you see though is you see these they're rear-loaded projects. So what happens is these large investors come in and do these large-scale projects, and they sign up with PPAs, purchase power agreements, and they give you a very, very, very nice price the first 2 or 3 years. But then they build in a 1 or 2% escalator by year 7, and by year 20 of the contract, you're effectively paying 14.5, 15 cents a kilowatt hour. I'm not sure I'm sold on those. I'm not real big on front loading or rear loading. I would rather see it spread across the board so we have a stabilized rate for a 20-year period. So we might pay more now and feel comfortable 10 years from now, but we're not there yet. We need, I'll be very honest, the reason why we're doing the industrial part, we need load. So I don't want to lose any load yet.
I just wanted to bring this up to let you know what's going on. And what triggered it for me is when I was in Columbus a year ago, and I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? And that's why I suggest you go to these meetings, because you pick up stuff you don't hear about here.
How do they deal with backfeed issues on this? I mean, wouldn't be a cost issue, it could be a safety issue.
IEEE standards, engineering standards state that you have to have a hotline, hot bus situation. Now that's soon to change.
Like an automatic disconnect?
Yeah, no, it means before the inverters can kick on and push power back through to the utility, it has to sense voltage on the utility side. If not, the sun can be shining, those inverters are not spinning, there's no power being made. Now, there's been changes, again, federally pushed all the way through, where because of this distributed generation becoming such a hot topic in farm communities and everywhere else, that IEEE has changed their standards that states now that they will allow interconnecting ties. However, they left a caveat in there that a lot of utilities will use, that if the voltage fluctuation is plus or minus a certain percentile, your equipment has to turn off. Well, common sense tells you if the utility is no power because there's an outage, you've already exceeded that voltage fluctuation, so you can't come online. Our particular solar field operates the same way. That field will sit there and put no power on our system if it does not see our system on. And we have a double jeopardy safety system out there that reclosure opens up and disconnects the system away from us, and we physically have to go out there and push the button to drop it back in. It's a safety thing, because you're right, you
Yeah.
can't afford to have a solar field power a line up when the rest of the town's
Right.
down and have a
Sure.
line worker
Yeah, somebody's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
get killed.
Right, and it's different than like a backup generator, because you don't
Yeah.
use them to
You're-
backfeed the system.
Your next drama that you're going to deal with, or dilemma, is going to be battery storage with the Elon Musk stuff that's coming out. Solar requires a inductive load on it, so it needs something to push against for it to push out. Batteries don't. They just put power out. So there's, like I said, those meetings out in Columbus, those are the kinds of things that the short sessions will answer. The APPA meetings I go to and I ask you guys, those are the things that are being discussed, because it's not just happening in Bryan, Ohio. Believe it or not, that's happening across the board.
Yeah.
I've had phone calls on this from our local people.
Well, we're going to put a new
Exactly.
building ourselves up here and put solar on it.
Potentially,
Yeah.
and I can't do that to say no to
School
somebody
could
else
even
we
do
didn't
that if they
hear.
wanted to, the school.
The school's going to do a little different setup with their solar. They worked with us a little bit on that. The last I had heard, and I leave that usually in Al and Adam Brandt's court, that it's going to be a small little array for learning. You know, it's not to shave load, it's not to generate power to do something of significant value at the school. It's so they can actually use it as an educational tool to teach engineering and science and all kinds of other things. So,
You know, maybe you people don't remember, but remember when the radio station, Luke Thaman put that out there? And that was by Massachusetts Institute. That was a ground runner of this whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to tell you about. That's all.
Well, I appreciate it, thank you. Dick?
And again, this thank you letter from Christopher Bryce, it was pretty, took me back. And I'm glad to have him on board. And if he's listening, hope you stay here. That's all.
Karen?
Nothing for me today.
Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
I think